Well, hello, this is John with Catfish Garage. Today's video, I'm going to do an oil change and change lug nuts out on my 2018 Diesel Equinox. It's been nicknamed the RoadWarrior because since I bought it in 2018, it has traveled back and forth to Charlotte every day. Except for a couple of days when I drove my truck. But yeah, my wife says this is like a RoadWarrior. So yeah, you know what? That's what we're going. That's what we call it now. It's a RoadWarrior. It's got 158,000 miles on it. I keep the oil change, keep the transmission service. All the maintenance on it has been done. So I no longer work down there in Charlotte. Well, they've offered me early retirement. So I'm waiting till sometime this week they'll let me know my date. I'm hoping it's going to be on June 5th. And so yeah, I think I'm going to enjoy retirement. It's kind of boring sometimes, but that's the way it goes. So I will not be taking the wife's GoPro underneath the car because I'm doing an oil change. I have a Temu camera I bought back in 24 when we went to South Dakota. And I rode that thing all the way. I rode it everywhere on the front of that Spider, and had it on the truck that fell off. Went back, got it. I figured, well, it's junk now. Nope. Still works. Now you can't use a remote mic with it, but that's okay. It, like I say, it still works. And so that's what we're going to drag under the vehicle today. Okay, I've switched over to the Temu camera, and I'm getting ready to go underneath and do a oil change. Hopefully that audio is still good on it. One nice thing about this one, it does have the front monitor on it, front screen. So I don't have to use the phone like I do with the GoPro. Okay. So now that I'm under the vehicle, I always like to do a little inspection. Look at my CV joint boots. I'm also looking for oil leaks. This one over here looks pretty good. And so I know that there's a drain plug and a filter. So, and everything else looks pretty good. I don't see nothing dripping. So the one thing we gotta do is take the torque tube off, the torque bar, and to get the oil filter out. I know my wife's Equinox. It has the gas engine 4-banger with a turbo, but I didn't see that on her. But I don't really change her oil. We take it over to Everett's and let them do it. So, all right. Not sure how the video is going to be on this, but well, you got to put the socket on it. Right. Loosen this side. What gorilla put that on? And then this side we got to take it all the way out. Take the little drain plug out there, because I have forgot to do that before. I better take the watch off. And there's going to be somebody, well, that oil's black. Well, yeah, it is. Just because this is a diesel. And I mean she's black, buddy. I don't know how much you can see it. But my understanding of it is that's the way it's supposed to be. And it's been like it since I had it. Reposition the camera a little bit. Hit it with the drain pan. Alright, well, while that's draining and doing its thing, then I can really make a mess. So we got to get this following the oil. And I don't know what engineer thought putting plastic cartridge caps on cars was a good idea. They did my fuel filter the same way, and it busted. And so GM doesn't like to offer spare parts for some stuff. So luckily, I found a new one and was able to put it on there years ago. But and I got a spare one now in case, because getting the cartridge housing off is a royal pain. So we're going to let this drip and drain and do its thing. Part. We get to put the fuel filter, the oil filter back in. Yay. Okay. Comes with two gaskets. This little gasket goes into the little drain for the oil filter. Yeah. We ain't going to go there. I thought that was the neatest thing, and I'm like, oh yeah, man, I'm going to use that. No. That wasn't. I just soon wipe it up off the floors. I had to use that thing. Anyway. Make sure we get the inside wiped out good. Then we're going to get a little breaker clean on the outside. Oh yeah. Now I'm making a hell of a mess. Now, I gotta find my knife. Oop, that's the screwdriver again. This is an electrician's knife. Alright, so now, we're gonna lay that there. The new one. I ain't changing your oil. Oh no, I've done it since I was 16. Yeah. You go to these fly by night places that change your oil. You never know what they're putting in it. They get it in bulk. You know, not unless you get a specific oil that they can't get in bulk. Then they charge you more for it. I'm lubing the O-ring. Alright, so now, this end, I know you can't see it, but it goes down in the cap, because it snaps in, like that. Alright, I got that. Keeping the mess down. Okay, now comes the other fun part. Gotta clean this mess up. I know there's gonna be some people, well, lift you got, don't. You're right. But my ceilings ain't tall enough for a big wildfire lift, and I ain't got that kind of money, or a bin pack, or anything like that. Fill up in there, make sure there ain't nothing gonna cause me problems. And another reason why I don't like taking them anywhere to have them changed is because most of these kids nowadays, they got done it. They want to use a damn impact on it. But see, I can feel that. That just tightened up, and I went, yeah, and that's good enough. This one, I had to have, well, like most new vehicles nowadays, they want you to have the oil change during the warranty period, or they're going to give you a bunch of crap. Which, okay. Well, I did that. So then the first time I had it, I got under here and looked at it on the last oil change I was going to let them do. Come to find out, they had impacted the head of the drain plug round. So I made them change it. And I drove it to work. Come out that evening, and one of the guys had hollered at me, hey, you got something coming up underneath the vehicle. Well, how they did, I have no idea, but they broke the drain plug. They snapped the threaded part off of it. So I just don't trust the oil change company. They get mad at me over at Everett Chevrolet sometimes because I'll look under my truck when I have the oil change because it's got the 100,000 mile warranty on the motor transmission, and they want you to have the oil change there. You don't have to, but yeah. Oh, you gotta have receipts. Oh, okay, whatever. But I found out that for them to do it, it's actually cheaper than what I can buy the oil for, because I think that truck takes 8 quarts. So, like I say, it's actually a little cheaper for me to let them do it. And plus, too, they can't say, well, you didn't change oil. Well, guess what? But you take it to these other fly-by-night places, and you don't know what you get. Now, I will say, Everett does an inspection, so they send you a video, and I don't know if all the GM dealerships do that. But, actually, the little guy that was doing my wife's Equinox, he caught that the ball joint was busted, the boot on it, and so, right, and I always wipe everything off, clean it up. I guess you don't have to, but anyway, he caught that, and I told him about it, showed the video to him, and he said, oh, don't worry about it. So I brought it home, put it on the wheel. Sure enough, I got up under it and looked, and it was busted, so I called back up there, and they made it good. They fixed it. It wasn't a big deal. Alright, let's get the torque put back in. The torque ball our way. Alright. I'm hoping the audio on my little Temu camera worked, because otherwise I'm going to have to sit in there and figure out how to put the audio back on it. Someday, if I continue to do this, which is kind of fun. I'll try to buy me a good camera. But then again, I ain't bringing it under here. Alright. I'm going to get everything out from under here. Now I'm getting ready to put oil in it. So, one thing I do is I always go around and make sure that, you know, you get the dust out as much as possible. Then wipe the cap off. Look inside your cap, make sure you ain't got any moisture, because that's usually an indicator of another problem. So now, finish wiping this out. Trying not to get anything down in it. Alright, so set that in there. Now, on the diesel, I use Mobil 1 ESP. It's specially designed for diesels with emission control. I have used this oil. See, I started using it at 60,000 miles when the warranty ran out, because I didn't let them change oil no more. Because, my God, they were raping me on damn oil changes. So, did it, so. Yep. I have to be a little careful with it because it's got a baffle in there. So if I just glug it in, it will all come out over the motor. Ask me how I know. That's how you learn. Do it yourself. And if you fail, that's just the first attempt in learning. And that's something I learned doing maintenance and controls work. Well, I did it for 40 years. I started out as a maintenance mechanic, went to school, learned electrical, and then went into the PLCs and controls. So pays good. I had thought about selling this vehicle, but you know, it's a diesel. It's like any diesel. They don't really like little short trips, going to the store or, you know, stuff like that. And I'll be honest with you, this thing, we've replaced sensors in it, but nah, it might fly apart. Soon as I crank it and pull it out of the garage. Hell, I don't know. But it's been a good vehicle. And that was one of the problems with people that bought these. Yeah, it takes 5.25 cores. Alright, now, it's close enough to 0.25. I could just put the 5 in it, but that was what happened to a lot of these diesels, people didn't understand that they needed to be driven. And me driving it back and forth to Charlotte every day, it did really well. I really thought about, like I say, I thought about selling it, but I still may. Like I say, I've done the brakes on it. I put the performance brakes on it. Because if you're driving on 485 down there, you better have good brakes. So, I'll check it before I crank it. And then after I crank it, we'll, I always like to get under it and make sure there ain't nothing leaking. And yeah. Alright, so there's that. Probably needs windshield washer fluid, but I think my wife used it though, which is okay. That's what it's there for. Alright. Let's start on lug nuts. Alright, so I'm changing the lug nuts out because the factory lug nuts have these crappy lug nuts. Has got the caps on them, chrome caps. Well, the chrome caps keep coming off. But before I get too happy doing it, I need to get one of the lug nuts off and make sure that the ones I bought from Lug Nut guys, when I say that, did I try? Yeah, Lug Nut guys. I want to make sure that those actually fit. Alright. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't get any sponsorship because I just started this stuff, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I'd want it or not, because then you're beholden to the man. And I understand it, you know. If that's, some people do this for a full-time job. Me, I'm just doing it. Something to do. Oh my goodness. Okay. Who thought that was a good idea? So now I do, if the people from Lug Nut guys ever see this video, I hope that I needed 20 lug nuts. So they would only sell me on their site a pack of 10. One pack of 10. So, but now I could buy a box of 32. Yeah. And I know, so I'm like, well, you could have just went off and I have to pay 2 separate shipping charges. All right. Well, let's make sure that these are the right ones. They're supposed to be. As long as they got the same conical on them. Well, they look right. Alright then. Well, now let's make sure it threads on. And this is another thing I don't like about taking something somewhere, because you always got these kids nowadays. The only thing they want to do is use that zip gun for everything. And me, I'm old school, man. I like to start them first by hand. Well, alrighty. Let's see if it's a 21. Let me check it out of the box. Should have been a 19 like the other one. It's not that. Actually, it's 13/16. I mean, the 21 will kind of work. So, all right. Let's make sure. Oh yeah, feels a lot better. All right. And so, one of the things I bought a while back is I bought this lugnut set, sockets, and it actually comes with a little extension right there, and I love it. Alright, so now I need to go through and loosen all the lug nuts, lift the vehicle up, and change them out. So all I'm gonna do is just want to break them loose enough so that the impact doesn't have to fight it to take it off. Because once you got it, you know, I got some of the weight on the vehicle down on it right now. So, all right. Okay, yep, I'm getting lazy in my old age. That's why I went around and loosened them all and lifted the vehicle up. Alright. So now let's see, where's my, yeah, I run them in like this. I know some people be like, well, you don't have to, well, old habits. And I worked as a machinist. I worked in a plant where we actually made automotive parts. We were a tier 1 automotive supplier. Look, machining processes, even then, you know, they were good, but you also got to be careful. You know, there's always that one part. Right after I bought my 24 Silverado, I put a set of wheels on it because it's a work truck. And I mean, hell, the work truck wheels are fine, but I wanted something better, so I bought some wheels put on it. And they put the solid lug nuts on it, which is great. So I was in here and I had to pull the front wheel off of it, and one of the lug nuts was coming off wobbly jawed. I was like, what in the world? Come to find out, it had been chucked wrong in the lathe, because I'm pretty sure that's how they put on a CNC lathe or turret lathe, and it was bored and tap crooked. Well, the tap's going to follow the hole. So I took it back to where I bought the rims, and I showed the guy. I said, look, man, this lug nut's bad. He looked at me, he said, it's not bad. I said, yeah, it is. I said, go straight it on something. He come back with it. He gave me 5. He said, well, make sure you ain't got no more bad ones on there. And I said, yeah. I said, I just need the one. I said, I done checked the rest of them, so they're good. So, but anyway, and no, I probably didn't torque that, run them in on the right sequence. Trying to act like I really cared, but I don't. It was close enough, because I have to set it down and put the torque on them anyway. All right, I'm not going to make you watch the rest of them because it's all the same. Well, now I get to go around. I got it on the ground, so I'll go around and set it to 100 foot-pounds. I know I could find a bigger torque ring. Anyway, so there's 90. Now let's see. Yeah, that's 90. That's 90. Then we go to 10, and that's 100. I guess y'all can see that. Anyway, lock your little nut down, and then you just do them in a star pattern. Alright. Well, that's how it's done. Only gotta do 3 more. Okay, one thing you should always do on your torque wrench is take all the setting off of it before you store it, because that keeps you from giving the spring in there or whatever's in it, the little mechanism, a memory. Let's see if I can find right there. Okay, so I don't know how good you can see it, but this is one of the lug nuts, factory lug nuts, that the cap come off of. So it takes a 19 with the cap on it and an 18 when it comes off. But when you take it to the dealers, you take it somewhere to have tires rotated or whatever, they don't care. And you can see these had already started rounding off. I'm sure they'd have been fine, you know, to run a little longer, but I'm not going to run those like that. Alright, so now it's time to crank it up and go look for leaks and get her back outside. That way I can move the Mustang back in. because it usually sleeps in here. I'll give you a closer look at it before I put it back up and end the video. Okay, hopefully the mic works okay. I'm at the back of it and I don't have the remote. So. This is my little Mustang too. Yeah, it's a piece of crap, but you know, she's still a work in progress. And no, the interior's on at 100%. But my project right now is working on the hood. So this hood had a big hole in it, big square hole, and so this is the original hood. I did find another hood and put it on there, and it fits, it closes okay, but I really like the scoop on this one, so I decided to fix this one. So this is going to be my next project. That I'm going to do this hood, try to get it finished up. I did put coilovers on it, and the stance on it looks pretty cool, but the tires and wheels are going to be on it now. They're not going to stay. Like I say, I got more work to do on this car, and now that I got time and I'm able, let's see how much I can get done. All right, guys, I appreciate you watching. Thank y'all. Hit the like and subscribe, and this will be it till the next time.